Computer. Perfect. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming in today. As I was mentioning, I am very excited about this talk today. I am going to be talking about the best nutrients for PMS symptoms. Now, who has experienced those? Oh my gosh. The last time around, it was insane. Yep. The cramping, the bloating, the moodiness. Oh my gosh. I was just a pissed off little puppy. Let's just put it that way. I was emotional and crying and getting overwhelmed. All those symptoms, oh my gosh, they just came. But normally what I do is I have certain things in my diet that help to counteract those things, which I really need to kind of up it this time. This is very common for several women every month when their menses is starting to come, and it has to do with the hormonal fluctuations that they actually have in their body and what's going on when they're going through different phases. So basically, there's two different phases. I'm going to talk a little bit about that so you kind of understand what the actual cycle looks like. Then I'm going to go into some of the nutrients that I really find beneficial for decreasing symptoms of PMS. I'm going to show you some of my favorite products, and I'm also going to share some of my favorite foods that I incorporate in during that time as well. That's a really good source of those particular nutrients. So I'm going to just introduce myself. Hello, I am Drew Mulvey. I am a certified dietitian nutritionist. I'm a board certified nutrition specialist. I am a certified LEAP therapist, which is a specific food sensitivity protocol based off of MRT testing. It's been increasingly good for migraines, inflammation, and also athletic performance. I am also a Precision Nutrition Level 1 coach, which is a holistic sports nutrition certification. I apply that to my clients. I am also a certified personal trainer, so I try to get everything in. I work with overachieving active females and athletic females between the ages of 15 and 38 to help increase their energy and stamina through balancing their hormones, improving their gut health, repairing their relationship with food so that they see it as fuel and they see it as fun, and they use it in a way that they can see the best results in their body and their athletic performance, and also managing and preventing any symptoms of autoimmunity. So if that sounds like you, I would actually really, really like to speak with you. You can sign up for an icebreaker call if you want to listen to this talk today a little bit more and get to know a little bit more about me. That's great too. So I look forward. I am so grateful that all of you are here today. All right, so we're going to dive right into it. So PMS, woohoo! It's a great time of month. So why is it that we experience PMS? All right, so here we go. There are two different phases of your cycle. So normally a cycle is 28 days. So usually 1 through 7 is when you have your period, and that's going to be the first phase. 14 is when you go into ovulation, and that's the best time if you want to get pregnant. And then you go into another phase. So the first phase, starting with the first day of your period, is the follicular phase. Now, what's happening in that follicular phase is that the progesterone and estrogen, your sex hormones, are actually decreased. So interestingly enough, estrogen is responsible for serotonin production, and progesterone is responsible for dopamine production. Dopamine is not only important well, it is part of your reward system, but it doesn't just do that. It's important for focus. It's important for circadian rhythm. So if your circadian rhythm is not on and you're not sleeping properly, you're not going to be recovering really well. And it's also responsible for your mood too. And serotonin, we all know that that's our well-being neurotransmitter. So that's why probably we're just freaking pissed off when we're around our periods. So what are some of the things that we can incorporate into our diets that can help to diminish some of these symptoms of PMS, particularly the bloating? Progesterone is responsible for that, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. All right, so the first one that I usually recommend are omega-3s and special omega-6 fatty acids. There's particular ones that I'm going to cover. So what happens when you get your period is that your body is releasing prostaglandins, and it's actually, that's where the bloating is coming from. That's where the cramping is coming from. That's the inflammatory proteins. So that's where a lot of those symptoms are being experienced from. Now, one of the most potent anti-inflammatories that I commonly recommend to my clients is fish oil. Fish oil, it's about 1 to 1 grams of fish oil that I recommend, and eating a lot of salmon, wild caught tuna, wild caught cod, sardines are great too. Anything that's going to be super high in omega-3s. Increasing the amount of chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, and also walnuts, as they're great for omega-3s. Interestingly enough, avocados do have a little bit of omega-3 in them. Eggs, if you get them from grass-fed chickens, they have a little bit of omega-3 in the actual yolk. And then grass-fed cows, so if you have grass-fed meat, commonly it's not really recommended to have too much red meat, so I would steer more towards those other anti-inflammatories like the fish. Another thing that I do recommend, so that's one of the anti-inflammatory, that's the omega-3 fatty acids, that's EPA and DHA, and then there's also ALA, which is the plant-based omega-3. That's not going to be as potent. So definitely getting in those sources of omega-3s, the EPA and the DHA, is going to be super important. Another fat that I commonly recommend is GLA. So that's gamma linolenic acid. Omega-6 fatty acids are commonly inflammatory, but this one is not. It's actually anti-inflammatory. It's not only anti-inflammatory, but it's good for your gut too. So that's only going to help you with athletic performance, because when your gut is in order, then there's no proteins that are leaking out and then causing extra inflammation and then making you crazy and then just decreasing your athletic performance. So you kill two birds with one stone, and I love killing two birds with one stone, metaphorically, everybody. So some great sources of that is evening primrose oil. I actually have that here. I have Solgar evening primrose oil, about 1,300 milligrams. And actually going back, I do recommend a fish oil supplement. Is from Metagenics. I do not have it on me. I do have these as part of my dispensary. So if you do want to order them, then please go over to my dispensary. I'm actually going to have the link in the comments below. So that has, as I said, evening primrose oil, about 1,300 milligrams, or yes, 1,300 milligrams, excuse me, I'm stumbling on my words. And then we have hemp seed oil. I usually recommend this because hemp seed oil is very good for gamma linolenic acid. Now it's usually 1 tablespoon, that's about 450 milligrams. So you'd have to get about 2 tablespoons in, but I typically take like a tablespoon. You can mix that in. You can make your own salad dressing, but don't cook with it. It's not good at high heat temperatures, and it does have to be refrigerated. I really like this one. This is Nutiva hemp seed oil. It is organic. You can get that at Whole Foods. You can get that. I actually got this one at the Big Y for those that are in the Northeast. You might be even able to get it at Stop and Shop. So it's really easy to get. I usually take a tablespoon of this when I am on my period. You can start taking it also before your period to start decreasing that inflammation, since the body is starting to create a little bit more inflammation. Another good source of GLA is spirulina and chlorella. I have to admit, on this one, spirulina, you have to be able to have a palate for it. But if you're mixing it in with other things, then it might be okay. So these are not as rich in GLA as other things. So that's only about 151 milligrams of GLA per serving. So like that's a heaping tablespoon. I'm sorry, I don't like spirulina, and I would not recommend that to anybody. So taking some of the chlorella tablets or mixing it with something that you're not going to be tasting it is going to be very beneficial for you. The thing is with chlorella and spirulina, yes, they do help to bind heavy metals, and that's why they're commonly used in detoxification. And also you need proper detoxification for proper hormone clearance as well. But it does tend to bind vitamins and minerals. So if you are taking the chlorella and the spirulina, I would recommend that you have it in something where it's mixed with something else, that it doesn't taste as pungent, and B, that you're taking it away from your vitamins so it doesn't bind those critical vitamins. All right, and with that in mind, I think that I've covered the two. All right, so next one, B6. I talk about B6 a lot. Actually, I've been talking about B6, if you've been following me, how important it is for your mental health. And why is that? Because B6 is actually important for the production of dopamine and serotonin, which is your well-being neurotransmitter, and also for your focus and your circadian rhythm. So B6 actually Interestingly enough, does more than just that. So, as I was saying previously, estrogen is responsible for serotonin production. Serotonin is not only responsible for our well being, but it also helps to decrease fatigue. Interesting. So, there was some recent studies that I was looking into for female athletes, and they were seeing that those that had lower serotonin levels actually had more PMS symptoms and they were more easily fatigued after athletic performance. Why is that? Because your estrogen tends to drop at the first day of your period, and that means that you're going to fatigue a little bit easier. So, incorporating a little bit of B6 into your diet, incorporating a little bit of B6, about like 50 milligrams. Personally, I take a B complex, and this has about 50 milligrams. This is Integrative Therapeutics Active B complex. You can get this on my dispensary as well. I take that, start to take that 5 to 7 days before the onset of your period, and incorporate some foods that are really high in B6. So avocados are going to be one. I've been craving avocados, interestingly enough. For the past 2 weeks, I have been craving them. Sweet potatoes, pistachios, nutritional yeast, and green peas are excellent sources of B6. Also, what else happens when you're coming towards your period? You get bloated. Oh my gosh, you get puffy. You start to retain a little water. So why is that? Because the progesterone actually manipulates another hormone called aldosterone, which makes you actually hold on to water. And that's why they commonly recommend to keep the salt down, but it depends on the individual, because if you have a lot of adrenal issues, salt is going to be very beneficial for you. But interestingly enough, B6 helps with dopamine production in the kidneys, which actually helps to excrete water more. Yep, it will help you with the bloat. So adding in that B6 is going to be beneficial for bloat. It's going to be beneficial also for it's increasing good prostaglandins and not the inflammatory ones and keeping them regulated. So they're not going to get out of whack. And then you're going to experience all of these symptoms. And also it's going to be great for the production of serotonin and dopamine. So you're going to be sleeping better. You're also going to be fatiguing less as well. So speaking of bloat, another thing that you want to incorporate is diuretics. So diuretics are compounds or could be particular foods that actually help to decrease the water content in your body and flush things through. So this is commonly green tea, but often in times if you are really experiencing a lot of PMS symptoms, you don't want to have a lot of caffeine because you kind of want to keep the adrenals down. I don't want to say low, but you don't want to have something, you won't want to be putting fuel in the fire. Let's just put it that way. So by increasing the diuretics, that's going to help the extra water to get out of your body. And some of the foods that I commonly include into my diet that helps to decrease the water, anything that's going to be really high in water. So that's going to be cucumbers and some natural diuretics, watermelon, mint, chickpeas, pineapple is a really good one as well, and asparagus. So that's going to help to flush those things out of your body. Now, I decided to put all that together and make a watermelon mojito. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So you can infuse it. You put lime juice in with some watermelon and a little bit of mint. You put that in some, I like S. Pellegrino. I admit it. Yeah. Some carbonated water and you can have a little mocktail too. So heck yeah, why not enjoy during this time, especially when you feel, well, hopefully by incorporating these things, you're going to feel happy and you're going to be emotionally satisfied as well. And it's going to be offsetting those symptoms of PMS. If you do have a little concoction that you put together with all of these, please let me know because I love learning about different recipes and I love seeing how people apply these things. Another nutrient that's going to be really, really beneficial for athletic performance and also decreasing PMS symptoms is magnesium. So why is magnesium so good for you? Well, it helps to decrease I shouldn't say decrease your central nervous system. That's not what we want, but it helps to calm down our central nervous system. So it brings us just sense of calm, sense of well-being, but it's also responsible for releasing cramping and preventing cramping. That's why it's incredibly good for athletic performance, that if you're cramping, it's not just potassium, it could be magnesium, and the electrolytes could be offset as well. So incorporating a little bit of magnesium, whether in the form of food, or personally, I actually take a magnesium supplement. I don't have it here. It is Metagen. Oh, yes, I do. Here it is. This is the one that I have been taking. It's magnesium citrate. Now, be careful with the magnesium citrate, because if you overdo it, it does help with peristalsis, and it does help with better digestion. So peristalsis is helping to move the food along in your body. It will help to move other things. Let's just put it that way. So just be careful about the amount that you are taking, but I like magnesium citrate because citric acid, citrate in particular, actually helps with energy pathways in your body. So you're going to be producing a lot more energy, and this will help to prevent muscle cramping. So, and also if you feel like you need a little bit of, I shouldn't say a downer, but you need something to calm down at night, I take this at night before I go to bed because it helps me to calm down. And other foods that you can incorporate that are really rich in magnesium, pretty much anything green, since chlorophyll is what makes the actual food green. There's a magnesium ion right in the middle of it. So broccoli, avocados, your green leafy vegetables are going to be incredibly important. Pumpkin seeds. And then there's some other sources too. Buckwheat is another source. And chocolate. You wonder why we crave chocolate around our periods? Because there's magnesium. There's also B6 in it. And it's also a natural source of serotonin. So it makes us feel happy. Yes, I am justifying eating chocolate. Do it. Another thing that's really important too, it's in your diet, anything that's going to be anti-inflammatory and be high in antioxidants. So really bumping up the fruits and the vegetables, nuts and the seeds, anything that's going to decrease that inflammation, decreasing the sugar content a bit, decreasing those processed fried fatty foods, because that can actually exacerbate some of your symptoms. So I'm actually on something, I take these every day. These have been helping with decreasing inflammation for my athletic performance as well, and I take them every day. It's been helping with my brain health. It's been helping with my energy. So I take Juice Plus. There's the berries, and then there's the fruit, and then there's also the veggies that I really like. So I take 2 capsules of each every day. If I do feel like I need a little extra just to decrease any sort of inflammation, I do take up to 4 of each day. And I've been on that for now 2 years, and I absolutely love it. So with that in mind, this is what I have. So here are some of the ways that you can decrease PMS symptoms. So we'll just do a recap really quick. Incorporating good sources of omega-3. So that's going to be your fatty fish. So wild-caught salmon, sardines, wild-caught tuna, wild-caught cod, plant-based sources such as chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, and also walnuts and avocados have a little bit in there, as well as your green leafy vegetables. You also want to incorporate good sources of gamma-linoleic acid. That's going to be evening primrose oil, about 1,300 milligrams, between 1,000 and 1,500 milligrams. Hemp seed oil is also a good source of GLA, which I showed everybody here. This hemp seed oil, this is what I've been using. 1 tablespoon is about 450 milligrams of GLA. So you might want to take 2 tablespoons. I personally just stick to 1, and I've been doing fine. And then incorporating hemp seeds during that time. Another good source of GLA is spirulina and chlorella. I would probably recommend the tablets, or mixing it in with something that does not taste as pungent. That's about 151 milligrams of GLA in there. Again, they do tend to bind vitamins and minerals, so please take them away from the time that you are taking your vitamins. Another nutrient that's important is B6. It's important for increasing dopamine levels in the kidney, so that it helps to flush out that extra fluid that you tend to get bloated during your period, or even before your period, because of the progesterone. It helps with serotonin production, which is not only going to help with your well-being, but it's also going to decrease fatigue. It's going to also, serotonin, they had found that low serotonin levels were associated with greater PMS symptoms in athletes and women in general. So very important that you have that serotonin there too. Incorporating some diuretics, so help to flush out that extra fluid. That's going to be foods such as cucumbers, watermelon, pineapple, asparagus, and mint. you can make that mojito. If you do, please tell me about it. Incorporating some magnesium in there. So magnesium helps to decrease the cramping. It also helps to give you a sense of calm. And again, it does move things along, particularly magnesium citrate. So you don't want to overdo it, but it can actually help with energy pathways as well. And then incorporating a lot of good sources of antioxidants. Personally, I incorporate Juice Plus, but I really bump up the fruits and the veggies, any good sources of antioxidants, nuts and seeds as well. And then there's those superfoods that you have. Acai is more of a fruit, but there's those superfoods that you can incorporate as well. All right. With that in mind, thank you so much for coming today. I really hope that this was helpful. Again, if you want to incorporate any of these different supplements in, this is what I've been doing, or incorporating any of these foods, I am going to put the link to my dispensary below. Please make sure that you click on it. The fish oil that I do recommend is the Metagenics. I believe is the 1300. So you want to click on that one. That's going to be probably the best one to take around your period. We've got some evening primrose oil. I got Solgar. Actually, if you are in the area, New Morning does have this, and I did get this, or I have some evening primrose oil on my dispensary. These two, the magnesium as well as the B complex, I do have available on my dispensary. So I will put that below. The Juice Plus, if you are interested in that, please reach out to me and I can get those to you as soon as possible. I'll give you a little bit more information on those. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much again for joining me today. I hope that this was really insightful and I hope that you learned a lot. Again, I'm going to reintroduce myself. I am Drew Mulvey. I'm a certified dietitian nutritionist. I'm a board certified nutrition specialist. I'm a certified LEAP therapist, which is a specific food sensitivity protocol based off of mediator release testing. It's much more specific than the other food sensitivity tests that you get out there, and is incredible for decreasing inflammation, symptoms of IBS, migraines, and also increasing athletic performance. I am a precision nutrition level 1 coach, which is more holistic sports nutrition, which I apply to my clients. And I'm also a certified personal trainer. I work with overachieving athletic females between the ages of 15 and 38 to help increase their energy and stamina by balancing hormones, by improving their gut health, by managing and preventing symptoms of autoimmunity, and really helping to repair their relationship with food so that they see it as fuel, they don't see it as restrictive, and they see it as fun as well. That was one of the most healing things to me, is putting together concoctions of whole foods and seeing how many antioxidants I can get for really recovering my body. If that sounds like you, I would absolutely love to speak with you. I do have a link in my bio for an icebreaker call. Please be sure to click on that. We can set that up. It's just going to be a 15-minute consult. We're going to talk about your goals, your health history, what you're looking for, and then we'll get you in. Alrighty, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful Friday, and I look forward to speaking with you at another time. Take care.